I'm out walking the Cataraqui Trail with the dogs. It's Monday, November 8th at about 1:45 in the afternoon, and it's a stunning 15 degrees out here right now. Beautiful. Bit of a southerly breeze, but really nice. I just had to get out. I debated about doing a bike ride. I wanted to get out with the dogs. It's so beautiful, and they were dying to get out, so here we are. There's a few summer birds still hanging around. Had a great blue heron just about a half a kilometer ago, and still 4 common loons that I've seen, and I just had a belted kingfisher. So some of these birds continue to hang around, but by the next weekend things are going to be getting quite a bit colder. Just saw a nice little red fox up around the corner here. It took one look at us and then zipped off the other way. I imagine Luna will be getting all mad when she gets up here and smells it. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna record Luna's reaction. We're coming up to the corner here where it gets shaded. Just in there was where the fox was. I'm gonna see how Luna reacts. I'm sure she'll start going crazy and barking probably. Here we go. They've caught the scent. She's mad. Few spring peepers calling still. You won't hear them here, they're very faint, but well, the day continues to be glorious out as far as the weather's concerned. Still mostly sunny, probably 15 degrees. Just heading east now past Hogan Road into the more wild section. Haven't heard any gunshots on the whole walk yet, so I'm hoping there won't be anyone hunting right near the trail. I'm still seeing a few small meadowhawk dragonflies hanging around, and I've also seen probably 4 or 5 clouded sulfur butterflies today. They're going to have to be among the last that I'll see this year, I'm sure. Even got a couple turtles, painted turtles, basking out here on the log. Well, we're here at McFadden Road now. We've come about 5 kilometers and it's been a really good hike. Seen a lot of stuff that I wasn't really expecting. The one missing factor are snakes. I was really hoping to see a few late snakes. I'm sure there are probably some out, but just haven't managed to hear or see any of them. Had one at home yesterday at the back of our gravel pit, a garter snake rustling around in the leaves. So we'll see if we manage to rustle up any on the way back, but I think I'm going to turn around here. So that'll be another good 10K for me and the dogs on this walk. Here's some recent work by our Canadian beaver, chewing away at a young ash tree here. Some of the wood chips on the ground. Finally, I took my coat off here. I was getting quite warm. I brought it just in case the wind was cool off the lake, which it was at the time, but back here where it's a little more sheltered, it was getting warm. Nice to get some rays of sun on the skin anyhow. This will probably be among my last good doses of vitamin D for the year. Sad to say that, but of course, even if you're out in the sun in the winter, you do get vitamin D. The only issue is you're probably only getting it on your face. This big cloud just came across the sky and blocked out the sun, and boy, you can feel the temperature drop 2 or 3 degrees instantly, just like that. And the aspens provide their last whispers of the season. Back in the sun again. There's a few of these big long clouds passing over. It must be some kind of a front coming through. And the wind really picks up when they go over. But once that sun comes back out, it's like mid-spring again. Changeable weather at this time of year. Just came across this mouse or vole carcass hanging in this low shrub. It looks, you can see the body's been wedged between the main section of this twig and this smaller twig. It's been placed in there, it looks like. Initially I thought maybe it had crawled up here and just wedged itself in there by accident and couldn't get out and died. But upon closer inspection, there is no head on this. The head has been chewed off. Now there is a bird that's known to do this kind of thing called a shrike. At this time of year, the only shrike we might have here is the northern shrike. And they tend to come down through this area at starting around this time of year or a bit later. And then you can see them through the winter. So it's possible that a shrike caught this bird and then wedged it in here to hold it. Now they often will impale their prey on thorns as well, but this shrub doesn't have thorns, so it's possible that it might have just put it in here to hold it. Now why it wouldn't have eaten the rest of it, I don't know. If this even is a shrike, the work of a shrike, and I have no confirmation of that, but whatever it is didn't eat it, and my only supposition there is that maybe people coming along the trail scared it off. In thinking more about that mouse hanging back there, I think it's quite possible another avian raptor of some sort may have been responsible. One idea that came to mind was one of the small owls, such as a saw-whet owl. I remember years ago I encountered a saw-whet owl out on the Toronto Islands with a number of friends of mine, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it had a thrush in its claws, dead, but hanging in a sitting in a dogwood or some other similar shrub out there on the islands. And I think it just had it in its claws, but I think there's a possibility that a small owl or maybe a kestrel might have caught it and just happened to bring it up to that low branch and sit there and begin eating it. I don't think any mammalian predator would have done that, brought it up and wedge it between the branches. A mammalian predator would have just caught it and either eaten it on the spot if it's a large predator, or probably dragged it off somewhere to devour it. Well, I honestly don't know what happened to our beautiful day. It was so beautiful for the whole walk down, and for the whole walk back it's been getting colder and grayer and windier. And it was supposed to be sunny, I think, all day. It was the last thing I heard, so it must have dropped 6 or 7 degrees, I think, from when I started. And as far as I know, the real cold isn't coming till the end of the week, so maybe this is just a small passing cold front or something. Seems like a totally different day. I'm out now. Half a kilometer or so until we're back, and it's turned into a totally dismal day out here as far as the weather. Supposedly, I just checked the forecast, it's supposed to clear up tonight and with a low of 3, but then be mostly cloudy again tomorrow with high of 12 or so. I had thought about going out for a long bike ride this afternoon instead of doing this. And I'm sort of glad I didn't, because right now it's quite cool. Now I would have dressed half decently for it, but it still would have been a bit of a miserable ride if I was still an hour or 2 out from home on the road somewhere. So it's 3:34 right now, and just within half a kilometer or less of the car, probably a few hundred meters now. Hope you've enjoyed this fall outing here along the shores of Sydenham Lake and the Cataraqui Trail. Found a few interesting items today, so hope you found that interesting, and follow me on the future adventures. Signing out from a rather bitter Eastern Ontario right at the moment. Well, bitter might be too strong a word. How about bracing? A bracing wind coming in off the lake. And now it feels to me like about 8 degrees compared to the 15 when we started. So that's quite a change in a couple hours. Anyhow, Catch you later.